I mean, first off, obviously, Trinity led for the entire game. So, Jamie just gets those kids to play so hard. Last night we gave up 47 points, and tonight we gave up 41 in the first half. I really thought they got a ton of deep post touches. I thought we did a really poor job against the ball screens, and obviously Starks is a really gifted player. He had 15 at the half. I think the thing about this group is whenever we meet at halftime, we're able to just kind of, decompress what just occurred and talk about what we need to do. And I thought yesterday in the first half we were flat. Today I thought we played about 60% of our ability level defensively. We were there, but we were not swarming and flying around. And, and give Trinity credit. They shot 52% and they made their plays. And we've talked about it all year, layups, free throws, and unforced turnovers were going to decide our season. And we had 4 really bad turnovers in the first half. We had a number of missed free throws throughout the game. At one point, Coach Gagnon told me we were 14 for 23, and at the next break, I just said, "Look, layups and free throws. We got to do this." And I think the biggest thing is we just keep talking about grinding away, and I think our group was able, and Joey said it last night in the interview, to stay in the moment, do their job. And, we started to get some stops, and a lot of it, I give a lot of credit to Bradley Jacks and to Charlie Rice. They don't get much credit, but they come off the bench, and when Charlie's in, we're able to switch all the ball screens so that they don't get to turn the corner. I thought our biggest issue was Starks was able to turn the corner whenever they went sideline ball screen because we were not getting to the hedge fast enough, and then our rotations were a step behind. So it allowed them, even though we covered the post, but it allowed them a sweet spot in the post. And that was a huge problem for us at the first half. I think that was a big reason. And you know what, we gave up 2 threes that were just uncontested. They're 4 for 8 at the half. And to me, those were miscommunications, but it's like, hey, where's our focus? Where's our focus? And so, and it took us a while in the second half to regain the focus. I thought we were inconsistent and we were fighting, I don't think we were fighting each other, but we were fighting the score, And we keep saying you can't let that scoreboard dictate what's going on because, we got it to 4 with 12 minutes and then they'd pump it to 6 or 8 to their credit. And then, down the stretch, Joey Steele changed the game. That was the biggest play of the game because it gave us the confidence that we're going to find a way now. We were 2 points, 4 points, 3 points, 5 points, but when we got to that point, I think it was 66, 65 at that point, you know what, it was just oh, this is going to be okay. And when we got to having to make the last stop again, it was just like last night, and we don't panic. And the great thing is that we're able to sub guys in and out, for offense and defense. And Eric Dean got that rebound and blew his ankle. That was a huge rebound because that kept us going. And then the other piece of it was that beyond the rebound, we finally made our free throws. We shot a very poor, I didn't see the stat sheet, but, we did not shoot well, but we made enough, down the stretch. And, I think they had some inconsistency and they got a little tight, as far as making a couple plays down the stretch. I think, look, this game is just such about human nature, and the emotion, and can you channel it towards doing your job and staying in the moment. And, I think they were like us a little bit in the first half where they're looking around for Starks to make the play. And when they couldn't get free post touches or easy drives, we were able to just continue to push them further and further away from the basket. And if it wasn't for a couple of missed blockouts, we were right there, So, and then the overtime, look, it felt a lot like Skidmore, to be honest with you. We had an overtime game up at Skidmore, and, we just had so much energy and confidence. And, we got the first baskets or the first points of the overtime. And then, the funny thing is, Matt Droney bangs that 3 in the corner. We're in practice a week ago, and Matt Droney hits a 3 for the scout team. And I go, Matt, please make one for us. Finally, please. And tonight he does it, and it was just the best joke for everybody that kept us loose because Droney finally made one for Babson instead of the scout team.
Well, and that shot brought the house down, and that was the one that gave you the lead for good.
Yeah, and we played to win. We didn't play scared, and I think that you know, that's one of the hardest things to do in basketball when you have such a big moment where you can, you know, move on to the Final Four. You know, I mean, it's just beyond comprehension. We've talked about it, but the, you know, the concept and the fact that we're going to get on a plane and go down to Salem, Virginia, like that's pretty good stuff, right? Pretty good stuff. So that's my late impression.
Joe's very good at anticipating passes like that. I think Starks drove baseline and then he tried to kick it out and he just read the play right. And no one was going to catch him. I knew that. I just trailed it from behind. I don't think I even got over half court, but just to see him finish it with a nice flush, get the crowd going, and to put us only down 1, we knew that 24 or 25 seconds left was going to turn into a long process. And to our credit, we made them use a timeout the very next possession, and then were able to foul and only made 1 of 2, and then execute our stuff on offense to score and force overtime.
We've been down all year at half, and we kind of felt the same way. It seems like every game we go in our locker room, we're either down or not playing well. Something's not going our way. You know, something about this group of guys, we just stay with it. We know we're going to find a way. That's what the great teams do. And so, you know, throughout the second half, we just kept grinding. You know, it set 6, 7, 8 a while, their lead. Once we cut it down to like 2 and 4, we started getting a little more life in us. We were able to cut it down and make some plays in the last couple of minutes. But, you know, just something about the group of guys, just unselfish and, you know, just keep it level-headed, and we just know we're going to find a way, and that's what we did tonight.
We got guys in foul trouble the whole second half, and whether it was Eric Dean or Joey getting subbed out, when we'd have those huddles on the court, it was this next guy up, you're going to do the job that they did, and you're going to execute it so that we can get back in this game and win this game. And to their credit, they took the charge and they came to, and they finished.
One thing is, like, just when I kicked that ball out and Droney hit that 3, like, I kicked it to John. I was like, John's shooting it. Like, he's one of our best 3-point shooters, and he trusted Droney. Droney doesn't shoot a lot of 3s. Like, he got picked last in our
Should he?
So he got picked last on one of our shooting girls in practice, whether it was a joke or not. But, you know, John trusted him to make that shot. You know, John's a senior. He trusted a sophomore to step up and hit that shot. That says a lot about who we are. You know, we trust one another, and I mean that gets us to the Final Four. So I mean that says a lot.
I think Coach always says there's only 200 minutes in a game to give out, and a lot of people in all of D3, D2, D1 that aren't starting wish they were starting, and people have bought into our roles this year, but that doesn't mean they want to settle. When they get out there, they want to prove themselves, and I think our bench did that tremendously tonight. The idea is that all 45 minutes it's like that, but obviously that wasn't the case for us. But we knew going to 4 minutes before overtime, 4 minutes in regulation, that we needed stops, and that's where it starts. That's where any run starts. And to our credit, we hedged well, like Coach said. Charlie Rice came in the game, and we were able to switch ball screens, and we just had to finish with the rebounds, which we didn't do in the first half, and we did that, and we came back.
And how does it feel to be going to the Final Four?
Feels great.
Yeah.
I think we all share that feeling. You know, we had big goals at the beginning of the year, and you know, I'd say this was one of them. And you know, just ready to keep going. I'm sure it'll hit me tomorrow at some point, and I'll realize that we're actually there. You know, what you dream about. I don't know. It's crazy.
I mean, for me, it was 26 years of Babson, 6 as an assistant and 20 as a head coach. And my mentor, Serge DeBerry, was in the stands today, as were numerous alums from all the different eras that have been around. And every one of them is just so proud of this group because of the toughness, the grind, and, you know, the selfless piece, you know? Like, so much about life right now is the iPhone, the iMac, the iThis, and we've taken the I out and done a tremendous job being a we. And, you know, I think one of the key points was, you know, John gave up the 3 to give it to Droney, who, you know, hasn't made many. And that trust, I mean, that's what changes seasons, you know, because everybody talks about building trust, but these guys live it, you know, and I think that that's the hardest thing. And so for me personally, I mean, I was praying that these 2 guys would have an opportunity to keep going. I wanted the seniors to win their last home game. I wanted, you know, Joey, who's had just an unbelievable 2 years with us, to have another week. you know, because, look, this group's never going to be together again. They'll always be together off the court. They're always going to be, you know, talking. They'll be just like the other groups who came, you know. But, like, you know, yeah, 29-2, you don't process that. And you never, it hits you, or hits me at least. Every once in a while I look down on those stat sheets and I see 28-2, I see 29-2, or I read 17 straight wins or whatever, and it's a situation where it's meaningless in the moment because you're trying to win the next moment, you know, and you're trying to keep everybody on the same page. But from a program standpoint, you know, Serge always talked about this. You know, we always wanted to dream big, and you know what, like to finally get there and have an opportunity with this group to play for another week, it's a blessing, you know, and we've had a lot of blessings this year. We talked about early in the year, the hoop gods were really good to us in a couple games early on, and, you know, we never turned our back on it, and I think we, you know, built some interest up there. And today was another example where, you know, the trust and the interest and, you know, the team was just tremendous. And you know what, like to be able to have a team that you can really call a team, a lot of people say it, but these guys love it, and you just can't put it into words because it's a situation where, look, we've had a lot of good teams come through here and a lot of opportunities. I mean, the 91-92 team, you know, was one of the best teams ever. They beat Harvard 100-80, you know, at Harvard, okay? And they didn't lose in Division III, but we were in the Constitution Athletic Conference back then. We had a 2-week break between the end of the season and the NCAA tournament because we didn't have a tournament yet. And we lost in the last seconds to go to the Sweet 16. And like that group, like forever is in my mind, you know, and you keep hoping that that group or the 2001 to 2004 group, you know, like the character that those guys have. We generally haven't had All-Americans. We've had one, Jimmy Paracas, you know. We've always had to be greater than the sum of our parts. And I say that almost every day to these guys. They're probably sick of hearing it. But we have to live that, you know. And not that these guys aren't tremendous talents, because they are, and they carry us on the scoring end. But they can't do it by themselves. You can't play 2-on-5 every day, you know. And I think the depth in, you know, has really changed us this year. But ultimately, it's the togetherness that really makes a difference. And so to be able to tell those other groups, hey, come on out, go to Salem and be a part of this, like that's been the greatest gift for me. And, you know, it's been tremendous.